Right, questions, answers to the questions. Sorry it took so long to get these out. I was just trying to promise myself not to do a video late at night. But by the time I've done everything I do when I get home, and any time I have got time to do a video, it is late at night. So I'll start now and I'll answer a few. So first one, Arthur Bram, Clone Bushcraft. Got 3 questions. Have you ever been in a real life survival situation, fighting for your life with others lost or stranded? Well, luckily, no, never. There's not much I can say about that. I've never actually, which is a good thing, I've never had to be in a situation like that. Well, not that I regard as a survival situation. Which 3 things would you choose if you absolutely have to survive on an island? And that would be a largish knife, a metal pot or some sort of metal cup, something to boil water in anyway, and a ferro rod. Which is your number 1 survival rule? Well, I think number 1 survival rule out of anything would be, no matter whatever happens, to just stay positive and have a good positive mental attitude, and that'll get you through a lot of things. M. Everett Munson, which is Marty Munson. This is a long one. How come any meat you have ever eaten, how come any meat you have never eaten always tastes like chicken? Ever had gator tail? Tastes like chicken. Ever had frog's legs? Tastes like chicken, etc. My question is, if all exotic meat tastes like chicken, and eggs come from a chicken and grow up to be chickens, why don't eggs taste like chicken? Why don't eggs taste like chicken? Well, I think eggs taste better than chicken any day. I think they just don't taste like chicken because they've not developed into a chicken yet. Carla Faison. Other than your bug out bag, what other 5 items would you take if you could? Well, that's one question. 5 items I could take: knife, ferro rod, tarp, metal container, knife, ferro rod, tarp, metal container, paracord. My other question is, my other question is, you and your brother, why don't you and your brother make a video together, go camping or just a day event? Well, we probably will do one time. We did, the last one we did together was the opening of the box thing. I can't remember, Pandora's box, that was it. We opened that and did a video together there. We would do more videos together. It's just, I don't know, it's just I'm always doing something when he's not, and he's always doing something when I'm not. That's just how it goes. It's just weird. And then we never kind of sit down and say, oh, we should do this, because most of my videos are always spur of the moment, and I don't know whether his are the same or not, but 99% of the time my videos are just a thought comes into my head and I just do it, or a thought comes into my head before, and then just spur of the moment I would then just do the video. It could be a week later, or it could be an hour later. And then the third question was, now may I enter your giveaway? And then the answer, she's already put the answer. Okay, never mind, I've seen on your other page that it is already done. Laugh out loud, my request for contest is null and void. Stuart Robertson. Malk, do you do any survival fishing, like having to use a small kit like Baccy tin size, Stu? Well, Stu, no, but I'm going to. As if you'd seen any of my other videos, you'd have seen, or if you've seen the recent videos, you'd have seen, like, I went on a fishing trip, first proper fishing trip. I tried a bit of fishing here and there, just like, you know, what I was doing at all, just on my own, using just little bits and, you know, that. I went on the first proper one, I enjoyed it, so now I'm going to try and make a proper little hobo fishing reel, etc., and maybe try some other stuff. So I will do that. Outdoor Eric 10. As a new survivalist, I have two questions that kept me puzzled. One, what is the best cutting tool to take for overall survival use? Fixed blade, saw, machete, etc. Right. Now, I think it all depends what your situation is, where you are. I think if you're in cold climate woodland, an axe is going to do you good, but then you are going to need a small knife or a knife as well. So you can only do so much with a small knife, and you can only do so much with an axe. If you're in the jungle, you might need a machete or something. And if it was completely frozen, cold weather, then you'd probably be better off with a saw for cutting snow and ice. But I think personally, your best bet for overall would be, you know, if you only could pick one tool for everything, I think your best bet would be a larger, I wouldn't say massive, but a large-ish, it's got to be really decent, thick, a large-ish, really decent fixed blade knife, full tang and everything. Because you could probably do more than that, than what you could with a small knife. It won't perform as good as an axe, but you could do chopping with it. And if you're really good with an axe, you could do most things you could with a knife with it. Because with an axe, if you did have a sharp axe and you held it up high near the head, you could skin animals and carve stuff with an axe. If you can handle it well and it's not too big. But I think overall probably a large-ish knife. 2. When making survival tins and bug out bags, should we look to fit a lot of cheap stuff in or something of high quality? I wouldn't say never just fill them with cheap stuff. Now I've done bags full of cheap stuff, homemade stuff. But then I've also, and I might do this soon, is do like my ultimate bag with all the expensive stuff and all the best stuff I've got and put it in there and then see what I think of that. I think it depends what your budget is. There's nothing wrong with cheap. Some cheap stuff is brilliant and some expensive stuff is just overpriced and you're just paying for a name. So I reckon you just got to research what you're buying, whether you know it's good or not. A Mora knife is cheap. That could be regarded as a cheap knife, but they're good. You know, you can't, for the price, you really can't beat them. So it all depends. Just checking what time I've got on this. Right. Pez, what do you do for a living? Well, what I do for a living is tree cutting and kind of landscape gardening stuff. So we do hedge cutting, tree pruning, tree felling, whatever, anything to do with, most things to do with outdoors in the garden or bigger gardens and estates, but more on the harder to do stuff. Nothing like weeding or anything like that. Occasionally, maybe do a little bit of grass cutting, and that's very rarely. It's mainly trees and hedges is what we do. So I suppose tree surgeon and landscape gardener. XDM50. I tried to research these and then completely forgot. XDM50. Question 1. Who invented the internet? And the first thought that came into my head is Sir Tim Berners-Lee. I think that's what his name was. but he didn't invent the internet. He invented the World Wide Web, which is a slightly different thing. www. So to be honest, who invented the internet? I don't actually know. Question 2 from Dwayne. Your 5 favourite must-have camping survival items. I suppose going camping and survival situation could be classed as different things. So if it was camping, favourite things or most important things would be tarp, hammock. This is what I would pick if I was going camping. Tarp, hammock, sleeping bag, torch, and a metal cup or something. And if it's survival, it's my usual knife, tarp, ferro rod, metal cup and paracord. Question 3 from Dwayne. Your favourite way to start a fire? Well, my favourite way would probably be the easiest way, which would be with a lighter. Your favourite snack or meal while out in the woods? Oh, if I'm going like camping, I always like to take a packet of microwave basmati rice, I'm sure. It's a yellow rice anyway. Packet of that, some chorizo sausage, and minestrone cup of soups, and some water. And I just cut the chorizo sausage up into slices, put it in the mess tin, put the rice in, put the minestrone soup in and a bit of water, and that takes about 2 minutes to cook. That's my absolute favourite thing to eat in the woods, because it's quick and easy, fills you up and tastes really decent. Rick Betchell. If you could have any knife, regardless of price, what one would you pick and why? I wouldn't mind a proper original Ray Mears Woodlaw knife. That'd be nice to have one of those. And there was another knife I found. I'll see if I can put a link in the description so you can have a look. It's worth looking at. It's probably one of the best. I would say hollow handle survival knife, but I wouldn't say it's even hollow handle, because some of them, it's got a compartment in the handle where you pull a bit out and you twist it, you unscrew it, and out comes a ferro rod. And I think some of them have a small capsule, and it's made by, I think it's, at one point I thought it was the same person who made the Ray Mears knife, but instead of, it might be Andy Wood or Alan Wood, I'm not sure, but it's a different one to the Ray Mears one, but they've got the same second name and the same first initial. I'll find a link and I'll put it in the description. Mr. M. Everett Munson, Marty Munson again. Question 2. How do blind people know when to stop wiping their arse? Well, I'm sure there's 2 ways they do this. One is either they have a trained guide dog which barks at them when it's clean enough to stop wiping, or the second one is they wipe and they bring it, see, wipe with a tissue and they bring the tissue towards their face, stop just right, and they smell, and then they wipe and they smell, and then once the tissue smells clean, then they know when to stop wiping. Ray 5220. What's your favourite band or type of music? I'm tired. My favourite band or type of music? Do you know what? I'm one of them kind of people. I will listen to anything. But I have had a few different favourite bands, and they kind of change through the times. But if I hear their kind of music, I always like them. So I've always liked Madness, which is like ska music. I've always liked the Sex Pistols, which is punk music. And I also really used to like, when I was in my teens, Oasis. Really used to like Oasis. But like I said, I'm one of them kind of people. I could literally listen to anything. I could listen to classical music. You know, whatever. Pop music, indie music, whatever. I used to really like Elvis. I used to buy a lot of Elvis CDs and stuff. At the minute, I don't know. I haven't really got a favourite band or anything. I like rock music as well. But nothing... Not anything really. Campfire 52. What's your favourite animal trap for using in the woods, and how long does it usually take you to make it? Favourite trap is the easiest trap for me, and the one I have had success with, and it was alright to use, if you know what I mean. The Arapuca bird trap with either the stacked stick cage or make a cage out of stacked sticks but nail them together or wire them together, but use the same trigger, because that trigger, if you do it right, can be done with just one cut or even no cuts if you've got a little knot sticking out, you know, like a knot from a branch sticking out. And that, you know, that could take you, just to set up the trigger could take you a couple of minutes, and to build the cage it takes longer to cut the wood or to collect the wood than what it would to make it. So the Arapuca bird trap, and also being a cage, it's just a cage trap that falls down. You can get away with using stuff like that over here because it's not killing stuff or anything. Ham Grey Go. Who does your tattoos, and are you getting any more? Well, I've had tattoos off a few different people. I haven't had one for a long time, and I got nearly all of my tattoos in the space of about 2 years. And at one point a good friend used to do them. And am I going to get any more? At the minute I've got no intention of getting any more. Just purely just can't be bothered. But that's not ever going to say that I would never get any more. I wouldn't mind being completely covered, but I just haven't got the time and the patience and all that anymore. Jack Striker. Would you find it easy to kill humans in the crap hit, if the crap hit the fan, kill or be killed type thing? Would you find it easy to kill a human if the crap hit the fan? Well, I couldn't say that until it happened, but I'm going to be completely honest. If it came to anything like that, I would try not to ever intend on killing anybody. I'd rather just really badly injure someone so they couldn't come towards you or whatever. Not sure how, depends what you had on you. And I suppose all these things make a difference is what kind of tools or whatever weapons you had on you. If you had some sort of large, powerful rifle where you could shoot someone from a distance or something, that might be completely different to having to defend yourself with a knife or something, or a club or something. But it depends if someone was trying to kill you as well. So I couldn't say whether I'd find it easy. I'd rather just incapacitate someone if possible, rather than doing them in completely. Because to be honest, in a crap hit the fan situation, if you've done someone in a bit, it's likely they might not do very well later on because there's going to be no medical treatment. You may not need to do anything like that. Right. So Sick Gaming. Who is better, Chris Ryan, Bear Grylls, or you at Bushcraft? Right, I'll tell you straight away, without a shadow of a doubt, who's better, and this is my opinion, Chris Ryan. Now I could go through a great big long story why, but he did what they regard as, I think it's the longest ever escape and evasion in modern day SAS history, and travelled God knows how many miles on foot, you know, with most of the Iraqi army after him when he was involved in Bravo 20, whatever it was, the mission, whatever, and I think that was their call sign, Bravo 20. Their mission, what kind of failed. They got, you know, half of them got caught, some of them died, and he was, what they say, the one who got away. So he is actually like proper done it, you know. And he was in the proper SAS, what they call the 22nd SAS, whereas Bear Grylls is in 23 SAS, or was in 23 SAS, which is classed as like the Army Reserves. So if they was going to send people into proper battles, it wouldn't have been Bear Grylls, it would have been Chris Ryan. He would have gone on actual missions and done proper, you know, fighting and killing and all that. So anyway, Chris Ryan. Daryl Appleby. In an extreme survival situation, would you eat the family dog? If I didn't have to, and there was other ways of getting out of things, then I wouldn't. But for a start, I wouldn't kill my dog to eat it. But if it happened to die, and I was starving, then I'd eat it. But I wouldn't kill the dog to eat it, if you know what I mean. If you had to eat the same tinned food every day to survive, what would it be? I don't know if you've seen these tins. Now, it'd either be a toss-up between a tin of Irish stew or all-day breakfast in a tin. I think it would be all-day breakfast. Favourite character or moment from the TV show The Waltons? I'd read this question a little while ago and had been trying to think of a moment, but there's so many great moments in The Waltons, but I still think, especially in the earlier episodes, I don't know, I was going to say John Boy, but it could be the grandpa would be my favourite. I'm not sure, so probably John Boy. Henry Nicholson, my question is, have you ever been in any fights or got in any trouble for anything to do with survival? Feel free not to answer, I know this may be a bit personal. Right, had any fights or got in trouble for anything to do with survival? Well, no, I haven't. Because you might notice that when I do videos outside, I do this a lot. Look around a lot. Because I'm looking around to see, because where the woods I go to are public woods, there's people around. I'm not doing nothing I shouldn't be, but you know what people are like. You know, you see someone in the woods talking to a camera, they might, you know, wonder what I'm doing. So I'm always looking around and I notice things and see things. And if I saw something dodgy, I'd do something about it. But luckily, I've never had to. Nothing's ever happened. You know, the most I've ever had is a dog run up to me and I was shouting at it and the dog ran off. And that was it. Red doe running. My question is, how come every time I take my time and nicely skin out a brown rabbit, I find worms in the back or sides? But I see on my channels people eating them all the time. Do you know what the cause of the worms are in brown field rabbits? I'm just going to have a look to see. I don't know what country you're from, mate. I presume America. So, now I've caught and trapped quite a few rabbits in my time. And I've caught ones with myxomatosis. Now they get weird eyes and a weird face. But I've never skinned a rabbit in England and come across one with worms in its back or sides. I've never even heard of it, so to be honest, can't tell you. Robert Bradfield, Malk, why are some of your tats smudged out like the ones on your knuckles and chest? Right. That's because it was old. Originally, it was crappy tattoos. What was done bad, like really bad, or faded, or just didn't look right. And I'd had them covered up. But at the time, I used to just say to people, I'll just cover them up with anything dark. So to be honest, that was an eagle on my chest, but it's been done very dark. And you can't really see, then the eagle's got nothing to it. These just started looking bad. So I tried to get them covered up with playing card symbols, but it just didn't work. It just kind of went just like black blobs. That's supposed to be a heart, a club, no, a diamond, a club, a heart, and a spade. That's why they're cover-ups. Ray 5220. Okay, I've got a question. Since your video making skills have improved so much since you started, have you considered remaking some of your older vids? Yeah, I have considered that, and I might do it as well. I might remake some. Budget Gearbox. What was your very first knife? Very first knife. I wish it's not here. It's in my bag at the missus's house. Or the ex-missus's house. It was a German army knife, which kind of resembles a Swiss army knife, but it's only got like 4 blades on it. A really decent saw on it. What do you think the most realistic crap at the fan situation would be caused by? I suppose that all depends, different country to country. Notice in Turkey you just had a military coup. In America you might end up having stuff from like riots and stuff. I suppose that could start something. You know, protests and riots. I suppose similarly in England, or maybe a terrorist attack. Hard to say, different countries, different things. You know, I think something like that. Riots. But then they might not last long. How badly do you think the Olympics are going to suck? I rarely actually watch the Olympics. I prefer to watch the Paralympics. I think that's a bit better, you know. People with injuries and that, whatever, amputations, and you know, they get on brilliant, you know, excellent. So it probably is going to suck. Right, it's me, SCFC. Question: I watch a lot of prep and survivalist bushcraft videos on YouTube, but never see people using or mentioning anything about binoculars. Do you use them? Well, recently I haven't used any. I've got some, and I normally either put a monocular, you know, the single one, or a small pair of binoculars in a bug out bag. but I don't normally use them for going down the woods or anything, because I'm not kind of looking around like that. But if I'm making a bug out bag, a pair of binoculars or a monocular is going in there, definitely. Vermont Bushcraft. What is your favourite brand of axe and why, and what would you recommend for someone just starting out? Well, I can only tell you what I've used. And the only axes I've used are my small, well, it's actually called a Wilkinson sword axe, which now they don't exist, and it's a Fiskars axe. So what you would call a Fiskars axe, mine was called Wilkinson sword back in the day, I suppose. That is absolutely brilliant, razor sharp, small. You've seen it when I make bows with it. Excellent for kind of carving stuff. The only other axes I've used a big axe for a lot of log splitting. That was just a cheap run-of-the-mill fiberglass handle thing, but that lasted and it worked alright. And the other axes I've got is I've given one by Paul and given one by another friend. Used them, but there's no kind of brand name on them, so I really couldn't say. I think with an axe though, so I recommend something for someone just starting out. I think you've really got to go and pick an axe up and feel it. See what it feels like. Sometimes you can pick something up and you just feel that you're going to hurt yourself with it. You just tell. Or you feel safe with it. And I think that's the best way to just try anything. You've got to feel it in your hand. You know, see what it feels like. Andrew Gordon, can I hang out? Andrew, you can come and hang out anytime. And there was one more here, but it's not a question, it's just someone not trolling, but I'm not even going to read it out. Someone else promoted themselves. I'm doing a giveaway on my channel. Be awesome if you could come and check it out. I should have just deleted that one. Right, so that's my answers to the Q&A. There was a couple of other comments on here, but they're not actually questions. Black Sword Shinobi had written, nice tip there, bro. Mike, me brother, had written, can I enter the giveaway? Well, I couldn't say yeah because it's already gone and passed and winner's been picked, so I think that was pretty much it. Right, so that's the answers to the Q&A. I hope that answered your questions how you wanted them. And I'll try and do the next video of hopefully making something, doing a, you know, I haven't done a making video for a while, a how-to, whatever. And I've got a few ideas, some stuff what anybody could do, you know, literally anyone. Right, so cheers for watching, and I'll see you later. And cheers for asking the questions as well.